$12.47. That is your balance, not your savings, not your emergency fund, your total liquid existence. You check it at 11:43 p.m. while lying on a mattress you bought secondhand from a stranger on the internet. You check it again a minute later, hoping the pixels have shifted, but the number is stubborn. You have $31,000 in student loans and a credit card balance that feels like a weight on your chest. Every grocery run is a high-stakes calculation. You put the premium olive oil back and reach for the store brand. You split a streaming password with someone you don't even like anymore because 40 cents a day feels like a territory you cannot afford to lose. This is what zero feels like. It isn't a dramatic explosion. It is a low, constant hum of arithmetic running underneath everything you do. At this level, money is not a tool. Money is the air. Either you have enough to breathe, or you are already suffocating. The first rule of the basement is that your relationship with money is entirely emotional, and emotional decisions always compound in the wrong direction. Then the first crack appears. You get a raise. It's not life-changing. It's $6,000 a year before the government takes its cut. It lands as an extra $387 a month. You feel wealthy for exactly one afternoon until the car makes a noise it didn't make yesterday. You learn the hard way that expenses expand to fill whatever space you provide them, but you make a choice. You pay off the smallest card. You stare at the zero balance on the screen and screenshot it for nobody but yourself. It is the first time a number moved because of you. By 26, you cross $10,000 in savings. You've never seen 5 figures in one place. You check the app constantly, not out of fear this time, but out of disbelief. You start reading real books, not the ones with the neon covers, the ones that explain how money actually moves. You learn what an index fund is. You open a brokerage account and stare at the buy button for 3 weeks before you find the courage to click it. The market dips the next day. You feel the urge to run, but you stay. This is the moment you decide whether fear runs your life or if you run the machine. You are making $68,000 now. You have $40,000 saved. You are doing everything the world told you to do. You max the retirement account. You build the emergency fund. You avoid the lifestyle traps. You feel stable. You feel fine. But then you sit down at midnight and run the numbers all the way to the end of the road. You project 40 years of this disciplined saving into a spreadsheet, and the result hits you like a physical blow. The number at the end is enough to survive, but it is not what you want. You realize the second rule. A salary is just a ceiling dressed up as a floor. The moment you see it, you cannot unsee it. You start a side project. You don't tell your boss. You don't tell your friends. You just work. It makes $400, then $900, then $1,700. You eat the same lunches. You drive the same car. Your net worth crosses $100,000, and you begin to feel the gap between where you are and where the salary would have left you. The gap is where the leverage lives. Your investments return nearly $4,000 in a single year while you are sleeping. You finally understand what an asset is. It is not a house you live in. It is a machine that earns while you breathe. By 32, your net worth hits $150,000. You have equity in a rental property and a brokerage account that is starting to have a personality of its own. You notice that talking about money at this level makes people strange. They become envious or dismissive. So, you stop talking. You start saying no. You turn down the destination wedding you can't afford without liquidating capital. You turn down the group holiday where you'd be subsidizing everyone else. You stop spending to maintain social status and start protecting capital to build options. At $300,000, your money develops preferences. It wants to go certain places. It resists others. You lose $9,000 on an investment and you don't panic. You realize that loss is just the tuition for staying in the game. Then you hit the third rule. Below $500,000, you are still buying assets. Above it, the assets start buying each other. You can feel the room before you walk into it. You restructure your small business. You exit one position and roll it into something larger. You are 36 and your net worth is $920,000. You stop sleeping well. Not because of stress, but because of intensity. You are running scenarios in the shower. You are sending emails at 5 a.m. to people in time zones you didn't know existed. You turn down a job offer that pays $200,000 a year because it would cost you your focus. Your parents don't understand. Then, it happens on a random Tuesday. Your app updates. The number is $1,040,000. You thought you'd feel different. You thought there would be a soundtrack. But it is quiet. And almost immediately, you realize it is not enough. A 4% return on $1 million is only $40,000 a year. That isn't freedom. That is just a new starting point. The milestone was never the destination. It was the proof of concept. At $2 million, the anxiety finally vanishes. Money is no longer a ghost. It is a resource, like time or attention. You don't check your balance. You check your allocation. You think about risk profiles and correlation. You hire a wealth manager, and then you fire him because you've lived the math and he's only read about it. You are wealthy in the way that means you own your time. You take a 3-week trip and don't check your email for 5 days. This is something people at lower levels cannot buy. Rule 4. Wealth is not what you accumulate. It's what you no longer have to do. At 5 million, the game changes texture again. It is no longer about building. It is about positioning. You are moving capital now, not working for it. The distinction is massive. You enter deals that will return nearly $1 million in 18 months. You start meeting people at the $50 million mark. You study them the way you studied the $10,000 mark when you were 23. Their pace is different. Their patience is longer. They aren't trying to win every hand. They are just trying to stay at the table longer than everyone else. At $14 million, you are invited into rooms where decisions are made, not celebrity rooms, power rooms. Family offices managing billions want to co-invest with you. You are at the table because your pattern recognition is now a currency of its own. Rule 5. At $10 million, your reputation becomes a financial instrument. It earns returns independent of your daily choices. You make decisions that feel morally complex to the person you used to be. A company you are invested in lays off 100 people. You don't call the CFO to complain. You review the cap table. The margin improves. Your position grows. You feel the distance. The gap between your signature and the consequences of that signature widens, and you don't resist it. By 54, you cross $30 million. You have structures in place that will outlive your name. You have a foundation that functions as an access key. You've stopped pretending. Pretending costs energy, and energy is the only thing that doesn't compound. At 80 million, you aren't just an investor. You are infrastructure. Cities plan around your capital. Lenders structure products specifically for your needs. You operate at an altitude that makes your old life untranslatable. Your closest friends are people who breathe the same thin air. You give away millions, not for the reputation, but because money has stopped being a measure of your worth. It has become a measure of your reach. Now, you are 61. Your net worth is $500 million. The exact figure is a secret shared by 3 people. You haven't worked a conventional day in decades. You think in cycles now, demographic shifts, credit cycles, the movement of nations. You sit in a room with 4 other people. Combined, you have enough capital to reshape a mid-sized economy. You speak for 4 minutes. You ask 2 questions. The room moves. You leave before lunch is served. This is power in its most compressed form. And somewhere in the city tonight, there's a 24-year-old opening a banking app. His balance is $1,247. He is standing in line at the grocery store, putting the good coffee back. He thinks this is a story about money. He thinks if he just makes more, the math will resolve. He doesn't know yet what it will cost him in distance. He doesn't know the gap that is about to open between who he is and who he must become to reach the end. The machine is open. It takes whoever shows up consistently. The money compounds. The isolation compounds. Everything compounds. It always starts at $1,200. It always will.